Hi, Senator Hough here for our weekly update from Annapolis. We're about 37 days through the 90-day session. Things are starting to heat up. And this year I'm serving on the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee, where we deal with criminal justice issues mainly, some civil and tort law, and real property issues, some business and banking issues. And I was proud on that last night we voted out a bill called Annapolis Law, and this was based on a real tragic case in Frederick County where a 2-year-old was murdered, and there's charges pending right now against both parents. And the case was what happened. She was, when she was 3 months old, she suffered severe abuse, a fractured skull, a rib, and suffered some disabilities because of that injury. The Department of Social Services lacked the tools to prevent the reunification between her and the parents. She went back to the parents. Tragically, within three weeks of her return, she was subsequently beaten to death. It was very horrific. I know the Frederick News Post and others covered it. And so working with Delegate Kathy Afzali, State's Attorney Charlie Smith, we put in some work and crafted a law we think that'll address these situations, prevent further horrific crimes like this, but also protects the parents who want to do the right thing and after a mistake want to reunify. So in cases of severe abuse, Department of Social Services can now go to the court and ask for a waiver of reunification. So you still have a court involved. I think this law will protect parents, but also protect children, so we don't have a case like Anaya again. So that bill, I'll be presenting it to the Senate floor this week. Look forward to passing that important reform. And also, in other news, I was joined this week by school board member April Miller, and we worked on a piece of legislation that makes sure that if students are taking surveys that ask explicit questions. There was a youth tobacco risk survey that was going around. I know some parents, people were upset about it, and rightfully so, because they never opted in for their child to take the survey, and it asked some explicit questions of a sexual nature to children as young as 11 and 12 years old. And I think a lot of my colleagues were shocked by some of the questions when we showed them. And so April Miller, who was with me testifying, I think we made a good case of why that parents need to know what is being asked of their children, what surveys are being done. And so this just simply goes back to the pre-2008 law and says that parents need to opt in when these sort of invasive questions are asked of their children. Finally, in the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee, I introduced a bill which would return the Baltimore City Detention Center back to the City of Baltimore. For those of you who don't know, there was a big scandal there where over 24 people have been already criminally indicted, correctional officers who were affiliated with gangs, and unbelievably, some of the correctional officers, the females, were actually impregnated by some of the prisoners. There was cases of caviar being brought in and cars bought for the guards. It was completely out of control. Believe it or not, the state of Maryland was actually running this facility. It's one of the few in the country where a state runs a local jail facility. My bill would have turned it back over to the city, actually saves the state about $183 million a year. That's money that we can put back into our schools and roads. So that's something that I think we're going to be working on in the next couple of weeks, because as always, I want to make sure that your hard-earned taxpayer dollars are spent efficiently and wisely. And so in between now and then, if I can ever be of assistance to you with the remainder of session, feel free to contact me at any time, and hope you have a great week.